Alright, what's up again from New York City? Shoutouts to Chroma Catcher for the fresh cut. I no longer look like... I wasn't hobo status yet, but I feel like I was getting there, so... today we're going to talk about footspeed. So this is Revolver, which I think some people know me for because I posted me getting 4 excellence on Twitter and Facebook. So that's definitely one of my more outlandish scores. I'm pretty proud of it. We're going to be reviewing footage today from TheGraded's, who sent me a message saying he wanted me to actually review this, saying he feels like his feet goes really wide as soon as like the fast sections come up. So TheGraded's is kind of low-key one of my rivals, getting scores pretty close to me. Has claimed he doesn't have foot speed. I think that's a big fat lie. I think he's full of shit because I've seen him play Life is Beautiful and get like single-digit excellence on that as well or something. So let's just take a look. Hopefully the volume isn't too aggressive. His streams are loud. What I'm gonna do is I've actually already given him criticism on Messenger, so we're just gonna actually run through what I told him. So let's see.
How did I get that great?
Bro, you gotta get a new mic. Like, all this trouble is a little tax.
Okay.
All treble, no bass. Like, I'm pretty sure this is how you get hearing damage. Okay, let's see here. Why did you get that excellent? I think those are early. That rhythm was a little bit slurred. Yeah, that's another note, is if you have a 16th note switching into the 24th, you need to make sure you get to the downbeat of the 24th. You don't want to, like, morph those two things together. That was crisp. Good, you're ready for that? How do you do that rhythm? Good job on the reverse staircase. Believe it or not, this is like the break. Ready for that too? That one turn is so violent. Good. Yeah, oh no, that's a good run, man.
Might be better? I think that was better.
I'm sure your goal is to cut the EX count a lot, but that's actually a good awesome count. I think that's pretty similar to what I'm getting. I think my best is like in the 50s, and on average I'm hitting 60s, so that's really good. So just running through what I told him on Facebook, I think with playing, I don't know if this is considered long. It's long for tech for sure, but just when like you're playing stamina or foot speed in general, like engaging your core and maintaining good upper body presence is a really big deal. You want your legs and your feet to be doing all the work. If your body is swinging, if your upper body is rotating, it's a lot of wasted energy on when you could be focusing all of that movement into your feet. Another thing you'll see with maybe like modern stamina play in general is there's a lot more focus on maybe playing toes out and like maybe sliding into your step. But when you're playing tech, it's a little bit different because you need to make sure that your timing as well and getting fantastics with each step. So rather than sliding your steps and triggering the panel by moving sideways, I try to think about my steps as much as I can in sort of like this vertical motion. So as I'm moving from panel to panel, am I lifting and landing on the panel in that way? Grady did say that he feels like he uses different parts of his foot for each arrow. For example, hitting the sides, using the sides of his feet for left and right, probably the toes for up and heel for down. Something I think about is what part of my foot is leading the motion. For example, for me, I think about the motion being driven by my heels. And the sides of my feet are just the impact point. So when I think about moving my legs, I'm thinking about moving my heels. Hitting the arrows is more about angling of my feet and placement rather than, leading my motion from my toes and then leading my motion from the heels. I think about leading my motion from all in one place and then everything else is just technique. If you think too much about where things are landing and what part of your foot is hitting what, for me, I personally think that's kind of overthinking. Let's go back and look at this ending run. Let's actually look at both runs. Let's look at the beginning one and the ending one. That was fast. Yeah, don't rush those, man. Like, it starts on a quarter note and it ends on a quarter note. Like, you're really good. You can time quarter notes. Right? So just making sure that you're thinking about how you're getting to the end of it, and then as long as you start on the right time, I think the other notes will kind of fall in place. That form is pretty wide. Let's skip ahead to the ending run. I feel like when I look at this run though, like, it starts correct. I think it just falls apart. Can I slow this down? Yeah, I think it just like falls apart over time. I think another thing I'll say is that this is something I actually learned from Rust ITG, the ECS champion himself. When like foot speed, especially something 240 and like sustained for this long, is something that maybe like the ECFA base pack doesn't have the resources for you to learn 240. So if there's something specific that you want to practice, don't be afraid to play out of the pack. Like, just because we're in ECFA competition season does not mean that you cannot play other songs. Definitely don't be afraid to even jump into like playing 240 BPM charts that are like 20s and then only using the streams as like a practice tool. That's totally valid. I think another thing I talked about with you in this chat is dude, you step hella hard. Yeah, you're like really going for it. And when we're playing foot speed stuff, like if you're trying to lift your feet really, really high, it's not about how hard you're playing, it's about how high you lift your feet is really the problem, because we don't have a lot of time from note to note. So if you're spending a lot of air time moving from panel to panel, you're just not going to make it to the next note in time. So I think rather than thinking about stepping lighter, I would think about lowering your steps to try to get from step to step faster. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think I would say the last thing for training form and like keeping your form consistent is that foot speed is like a form and like a muscle memory that really needs to be trained. It's not something where you can just say, oh, I want to play 240 or 250, and then you jump on the pad and like you go straight to as long as 240 or 250. Like, you can give yourself a reasonable building block for building foot speed, and this really goes for anybody of any level. If you want to get better at 160 because you're only playing 120 stuff, there's a path for that. So, jump into playing what would normally just be stamina charts, and play those. Start at a comfortable tempo. Really focus on your form, and then increase the BPM by like 10. And what you do is every single time you increase the BPM by 10, you just want to make sure that your form is tight and you're staying relaxed as much as possible. And if you do this slowly, you can kind of scale up to the speed that you need, but you kind of have to establish the building blocks at lower tempos. I've said this in a previous video, but in order to play fast stuff, like there's no avoiding just forcing yourself into playing it. But you can set yourself up for success by starting at lower BPMs and then using that as your foundation to learn how to play things fast, staying relaxed, thinking about things like how high am I lifting my feet? Am I hitting the panel with the exact same part of my foot every single time? Am I hitting the exact same part of the panel every time? Are certain patterns slowing me down? Am I missing one particular arrow? Am I like getting early grates or something on a particular arrow? Those are things that are hard to think about when you already bump straight up to the high BPM, but on a lower BPM, it's much easier to catch those kind of mistakes. So, I think that's all I have. I don't know if there's anything else from this chat that we talked about. But yeah, definitely, I think your biggest thing is going to be trying to maintain that form, just so it's not falling apart after like 1 or 2 counts of 24ths. Yeah, because it's good for like literally 2 counts and then like kind of slips. Yeah, man, that's my advice. Don't be afraid to train foot speed out of the pack, or even rate modding this. So, all right, thanks, Grade A. Oh my god, I can't even speak English right now. It's so late, guys. It's like 1:30 a.m. right now. I have not been, I have not been sleeping responsibly. So, thank you, Grady, for letting me review that video. If you guys want your videos reviewed, I can do that too. So, thanks again. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.